Alright, so we've been watching a lot of movies lately, as we always do.
Yeah.
But I think lately, it's been a lot of action movies for some reason.
Yeah. Action comedy.
Exactly, which I've really appreciated.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about a few of them.
Yeah, that's cool.
Before we get into it, I have some trivia questions for you.
Alright, cool.
Unrelated to the movies we've been watching, but I think you'll be good. Okay, I don't know what your prize will be. There is no prize. You just are proving.
And I hate trivia as well. So.
You've been good. We've been doing trivia, and I think you've been decent.
Yeah, if it's trivia around topics that I do know a bit, but they kind of stretch my knowledge base, and that's fine. But if it's like, I don't know, who run the Mount Kilimanjaro in 1957.
Well, these questions are related to your two favorite topics, films and music.
Okay,
and so hopefully you'll get some of them.
Cool.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so what film did Jay-Z produce music for?
Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
We had that conversation about it. I don't know.
Did we?
That's why,
we did.
Yeah, that's why.
Because I really like that movie. Most people don't, but I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Okay, what film did Mariah Carey star in that was panned by everyone universally?
It was the film that she made, didn't it? Or where she plays like, is this based around the 70s? I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
But it came out like 2001 and 2002 around that period.
Exactly.
I don't know what the name of it is.
Glitter.
Oh yeah, that's the name.
You basically got it. But we also were talking about that recently too.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes it easier.
Yeah. These next two are about your favorite actor.
Okay.
So, what was Joaquin...
Well, one of my favorite actors.
Okay, one of them.
There's loads of great actors.
What was Joaquin Phoenix's first film? First major?
Major?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Really?
I wouldn't know. It won't even be Gladiator. It would be something before that.
Absolutely before that. It was in the 80s.
Yeah.
So he had two smaller films before this, or two smaller roles in films before this, but his first major film...
Oh, did he have a starring role? Because the thing is, I only watch films that I'm interested to watch, not just because he's in it, but the director, and also more importantly, what the film is about.
Right.
Like, I think that's what draws me in, and also what mood I'm in to watch it as well.
That's real.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I mean, this title might be telling us what this film is about. I didn't look into it.
Yeah.
But his first major film release was by Ron Howard, who...
Oh, okay, yeah, we did talk about Ron Howard, yeah. What's the name of the film?
A dramedy called Parenthood.
That sounds like a...
released in 1989.
Is that a kid film?
I don't think so. Does Ron Howard make children's movies?
That's what I was thinking that he doesn't, but maybe he just venture out because they were quite big during that time period. During that time period to make these family-friendly films.
Maybe it was. Oh, it's starring Steve Martin. So
yeah, so I'm not wrong there, isn't it?
You're not.
Yeah. Oh.
Not at all. Ron Howard. Maybe we should watch that. I like Steve Martin.
I like Steve Martin, but I don't know if Parenthood is a good. Actually, I think I've seen this.
It has a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I think I've seen this. I think I've heard about it. I might have seen this. There's a huge possibility that I've seen this.
Then I need to catch up. Okay, last one. Bonus question. In 2020, Joaquin Phoenix said he was ditching his movie career to do what?
2020?
Yeah. He said he was retiring from films to do what?
There was a time period when he was doing this whole weird, like, being a different character and then doing music.
What genre of music?
It was hip hop.
He wanted to be a rapper.
But that was not in 2020. That was earlier than 2020. Because he played this whole character that wanted to be a rapper or whatever.
Oh, you know more than me.
You know, that was way before 2020. So he wasn't even on interview. He did a documentary about it and then a whole interview as well.
I didn't even know that happened until I was doing research.
No, I think he was definitely trolling.
Oh no, it was a joke.
It was a joke, yeah.
But
I think that was earlier than 2020 for sure. Because I remember that time.
It probably was.
Yeah.
The article I read was from 2020.
Oh, okay,
but I didn't
cool.
actually read the article.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Could have been from any time period.
Yeah.
So yeah, you did great.
Yeah.
You did great. But except for the Joaquin Phoenix film.
Yeah, but but at least at least I kind of still able to group things.
Exactly. You got it. Okay, so the movies we've been watching.
Yeah.
You forced me to watch Golden Child.
Forced is a big word.
I saw him pick it and I was just like,
But it was more in the sense because you have not watched like old blockbuster Hollywood film. I don't think Golden Child is in that category, though it definitely is an influence to some action film.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly. It might have been Rush Hour. I am not sure.
I think when you're watching it, you can see how
some
it
Rush Hour
inspired.
elements.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think was it Rush Hour? There was a. I watched the film and I was like, this is definitely a precursor to a lot of action films that came before it.
Yeah. So just a little background. Golden Child came out in 1986 and it was starring.
It was 86.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's quite
starring,
old. Yeah. Eddie Murphy.
Yes.
And another British female actress as well. We placed the love interest as well, the Tibetan love interest. I can't remember what her name is.
The movie was outrageous. It wasn't great, but it was entertaining.
Yeah, I think that again, that was the whole pick and choice. I think most of the time it's either watching like a serious European film, though they're so beautiful and great. They probably take so much mental energy.
Right.
And sometimes it's just nice to watch a film that you know is not going to be great, but it's going to entertain you. It's going to keep you kind of want to watch in it as well. And I think Golden Child kind of suited that element as well. And plus it also got some element of action as well, which changes up things as well.
Do you think which was more entertaining, the comedy aspect of it or the action?
I think the comedy aspect, I was finding more entertaining the comedy aspect and also the character that Eddie Murphy plays. Eddie Murphy plays this sort of brash, what's it called, child kidnap investigator who goes around, investigating all this kidnapping, but then he gets hunted by this Tibetan woman who's the love interest who found this Tibetan kids that was stolen in Tibet. The Golden Child, by essentially the devil's right-hand person.
Exactly.
So and Eddie Murphy has to go investigate it. Yeah, it was just what's another big reason I wanted to watch watch that film is because I remember when we were younger, younger in Sweden, they used to come on Freeview. That was one of them as well, and my mom, dad ended up recording it as well, and I was like, I haven't seen this film in a long time.
Right. Was it one? So you had it on VHS and you guys would like rewatch it?
Yeah. So like rewatch it. Where we had so many films, and I think Golden Child was like one of them as well. So yeah.
No, a lot of.
Yeah, I mean, you watched it for the first time. What did you think? What's your thoughts on it?
I thought one thing we were talking about was how good the CGI was for the time.
Yeah. There was certain elements. I think although there were certain elements that, of course, that have not aged really, kind of.
Of course, because it's from the 80s.
But there were certain elements that were quite good in it as well. But which one aspect was quite good in it?
Because the Golden Child has power.
Oh yes,
so he's doing things to things. Around him.
When he got the disclaimer, when he's got like a can, when he's being captured, and he makes the whole can sort of dance around as well. That was quite good.
It
CGI.
was like animated.
Yeah.
So
that
was
good
cool.
CGI.
I think seeing Eddie Murphy in that time period, because he does that chuckle that he was doing in all of his films at that time. So it was very like classic Eddie Murphy, but
the more cross.
Yeah. But even his silliness, like
the silliness was still there. The silliness was still there, but it was more cross. Obviously now he's become even more family friendly, and also less. I mean, he's older, of course, and also less intensity. I see in his performance. So less brash, less brashness. Because he's older as well. We
watched You People. And his character is a bit outrageous, but it's not goofy. His comedy now is more mature versus in Golden Child, it's very like...
Yeah, he plays like this elder person. I think he did that in even the Coming to America, the new one as well.
Absolutely.
But it's more like the father who, in Coming to America, the new one, who is not kind of involving everyone in everything, and he thinks his way is the best way, and then throughout the course of films he found out that he needs to involve other people as well, rather than being so-called figurehead. I think that's what it is, and I think there's a feminist element to it, so isn't it?
Oh, the second coming.
I think it was. Yeah, I'm remembering that because it's been like a year or two since I watched it, so everything's coming back. So
I liked it, as you like to say, a good popcorn movie, but very like low expectations going.
These are not, you're not watching and you're thinking, this
is gonna be a great film. So the second action movie we watched recently was Bad Company. Starring Chris Rock. I keep saying Chris Tucker and it's outrageous, but Chris Rock is a CIA agent. No, he's playing two characters, so spoiler alert. He's a CIA agent who's assassinated, and then he has a twin. And the CIA needs the twin to fulfill the duties of the original Chris Rock so that they can finish their mission.
To save the world from a bad nuclear disaster.
Exactly.
I think it came out 2001 and 2002. And it follows part of another action film that we watch in terms of like Hollywood, and always depending politically what's kind of happening and who the enemy is. In the White Company, we got the Russians as the enemy. And another film, The True Lies, that we did watch as well, is the Arabs. They are the enemy as well. So you do find it in some of these blockbuster, especially when it comes to CIA saving, that it's either one of those two that are the enemies. So
yeah. I think it's interesting when we think about enemies, because sometimes I think there was a time period, and even present day, I shouldn't say that, it's still a thing where like one racial group, like Russians, are always the bad guys.
Or, and I remember I was telling you it was going to be a Russian person. Mind you, I haven't seen the film since I was a young kid. And then you were like, no. And then you see, and I'm like, bro, like...
Right, because the main bad guy in the movie is American Russian. Like, he doesn't have a Russian accent, but he does come from...
a Russian background.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then the other
everyone else, was Russian. And so I saw the guy who was the bad guy, and I was like, no, he's not Russian. And then the movie goes on, and he is Russian, and it's like, okay, that stereotype again. But I was gonna say they either are from one of those backgrounds, or they are like dismembered in some way, like they have terrible face
Yeah. I think that happens in the film, isn't it?
I can't recall.
Yeah, I think one of the characters get a terrible. Or am I confusing that with another action film as well? We watched the Jennifer Lopez.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm confusing it, and then that's where
which we'll get to.
And that's where one of the bad guy has a terrible disfigurement, similar to another action film we watched. Obviously, the new James Bond film that Rami Malek has a terrible disfigurement as well. Another way for us to sort of dislike this sort of character from the onset. But,
which I think people are talking more about how problematic that is now. To like make people, because people have injuries.
It's really interesting because I was watching this I think this documentary, and they were talking about like how Nazi people, so big leaders or the big figureheads in the Nazi, so underneath Hitler would have disfigurement as well, and how it was proud to sort of have that disfigurement, and it was showing
like
that you were, it's about, it was showing that you are brave, it was showing that you're part of an aristocrat. So really good what's it called, short video on YouTube as well to talk about as well. Not necessarily much more. I mean, it's the CIA, it's a typical trope of the CIA trying to sort of save the world again as well. And it was quite interesting because it follows. I had another. Sorry, I was trying to make a link with The Martian as well, and there's the America's trying to save. But I think The Martian is a different story about cooperating with the world, with a bad company, and also the action films pretty much of them day was always the American or the one person that was trying to save the world. But the divide only sort of happens within. If it's either CIA or an FBI agent, or kind of like in Bad Company, the divide is or the pushback slightly comes from the higher up in Anthony Hopkins' character, who's the one that leads the unit to trying to save the world as well. That's where the friction sort of happens. Yeah.
The next one we watched was True Lies. So Golden Child was 1986, True Lies 1994, Bad Company 2002. So we have a few decades covered here. True Lies, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis, was fantastic. Yeah,
I enjoyed that as well. I think it's held up so really well, but I think we might have been remastered as well. So that's why it looks so crystal clear. Good, But it definitely, in terms of the production and design and the directing, and of course it's James Cameron, so you can see how clean it is and how well the scenes are executed in comparison to obviously Bad Company and Golden Child. I mean, James Cameron is a big budget director as well, so he doesn't do anything cheap. In fact, he does everything extraordinarily expensive, too expensive. And you can sort of see it in terms of how elaborate the sets are, but also just how extravagant it sort of is as well, the precisions as well. Even for example, the scene when it's shot in that cubicle as well, and you can sort of see the sort of cinematography and the whole, and when all of the sort of the toilet and the water sort of comes up as well, you can sort of see how pristine and clear it kind of looks like as well. Even the fighting scene as well. And it was interesting because again, it is an action comedy, kind of like Golden Child, and Bad Company actually is still an action comedy as well.
I forgot to ask, when it comes to Bad Company, which did you like more, the comedy or the action?
To be honest, it's slightly the comedy, but I can't lie. That's one thing I have to say about Bad Company. I mean, Chris Rock's acting is horrendous.
Horrible.
It is horrendous.
It's so bad.
It is so bad. But I'm so glad I watched it. I'm so glad I watched it again, because unlike Eddie Murphy in Golden Child,
right.
and Jamie Lee Curtis, she's an actress as well, so she was able to hold up the scene. And Arnold obviously plays Arnold, but I think he does that character that he's played probably by then 10 decade in. He's done exactly. That really well. But with Chris Rock is playing Chris Rock, but I think at that point it was not Chris Rock as a good actor. To be honest, I saw him in the trailer for a Saw film as well, the latest Saw one that came on Netflix, and that looked tremendously bad as well. So he's not good as an actor, let's say, like Eddie Murphy.
When he's trying to be serious is when it's not good. Like maybe if it was just comedy, because Chris Rock did Head of State, and he also did a movie. I haven't watched these since I was a child, so let me not talk too much about them. But he did
when was Head of State?
Was in the 2000s.
So it could be only a couple of years removed.
But that was very comedy.
Okay. So it was not serious. It was not like...
Yeah.
Oh, it was not like he's trying to save the world. Okay, sorry.
And I think that's where the acting goes wrong. When he's just being comedic, it's good.
He was good in Top 5 though, but Top 5 is like...
That's also comedy though. Yeah. Like he's cracking jokes the whole time.
Yeah, but Top 5 was like... Top 5 I would expect at least in premiere, because that is like 20 years on from Bad Companies.
Of course. So there's improvement.
But the thing is, even before Bad Companies come out, this guy's been in numerous films before that.
Yeah, he was.
I get what you're trying to say. And I think maybe that's where the discrepancy happened.
Just trying to be serious, isn't it?
Yeah, but then I just feel like if it was anyone else, they would have done a better role of it. I think it is. Like, I think Golden Child has also got some level of seriousness in it, but I kind of get. But I think Eddie Murphy does a good job.
Yeah, he's just a better actor, I think.
Yeah.
But so you were saying you still like the comedy more than the action in Bad Company.
To be fair, I can't lie. I do think Bad Company overall is a bad film. It's not even. But I'm glad that I watched it. I'm glad that I watched it.
Who else is starring?
Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, so it's wild to see him in such a bad movie.
I mean, no, the reason why he was in those type of films is because action, to be honest, action now, it's action that's involved now, isn't it? Action is MCU.
Yeah.
It is Marvel.
Yeah.
It is Warner Brothers. It is Batman. That's what action is now.
I feel like we should do another video on all the Marvel movies we've been watching. But so when it comes to True Lies, the comedy part or the action, which did you prefer?
I love both, I love both. I think it was a nice, fantastic blend of both as well. And it was a very entertaining film to watch as well. And also very interesting as well. And again, the film precipitates the first, World Trade Center bombing as well. That kind of had occur as well, but it was unsuccessful. So, and also loads of the battle.
The film came out before that.
I think it came out before that, but loads of also the Arab and West relations that kind of had soured as well, and the film sort of comes out top of that, and of course the main evil person who slaps this woman so horribly. It was actually shocking, but I thought it was really well executed because he came out and I was like, that is insane.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah, but it kind of precipitates that entire relationship as well, and of course I think one thing that was interesting as well, they kind of did give the character a small speech or a small motivation, but it wasn't.
Which character?
The evil guy.
Okay.
But they didn't give him a long kind of backstory. It was more like, okay, you have been treating us this bad, and this is our justification to doing to attack you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think when it comes to the comedy versus the action, the comedy, the side, what's it called? Like his best friend in it, his accomplices. Yeah. I can't remember who that actor is. I'll put a picture of him up, but he was really funny.
He was funny.
And made it really funny. Yeah. And then Jamie Lee Curtis had some physical comedy in it.
Yeah,
which was really good.
As well,
but I didn't want to watch this movie. Again, this was one where Kevin was like, let's watch Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It's not when
not because you really wanted to, but you were just like, let's watch this movie.
No. So obviously, so again, I go literally by mood. A lot of times I go by mood. Because I have loads of list of films that I watch, and I'll watch them one day. Sometimes I don't get to watch them. But my mood was, okay, I wanted to watch a 90s film.
This was very specific.
That is kinda either along the lines like films like The Parenthood or the Steve Martin films, or Canada's action sort of way.
Right.
And I scrolled through Disney Plus like a long time. And then we came, I think there were a few others that we
scrolled past and we were like, maybe.
Mm-hmm. But I thought the White Lies would have been perfect.
And
I thought that would.
I was just saying, it was a good shot from you, but I didn't want to watch it.
Yeah. Because I'm like, okay, cool. Because this is also part of their film stratosphere. The type of films that you have not watched. I think I've seen The White Lies a little bit before, but
I've never seen an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie before this.
That is insane.
I've never seen
that. Like, I don't know, like for me. Even me, like I'm not American, but I'm like it's almost near enough. Like I don't like the time period with Schwarzenegger was real. Obviously, I was a little kid, but I still was shown those films, and I will still watch those films. So there's loads of from the first Terminator I've seen, the second Terminator I've seen, and then after that, whatever there was as well. And also the other sort of action films. My dad obviously used to love an action film, but again, that is the story of any sort of man in that time period.
Right, exactly.
Like they're not watching fucking European art house film. Nah, that's not happening. Do you get me?
Your Ugandan dad back in the
it's like you have to watch like a military man. Do you get me? Go in there fighting the bad guy.
Exactly.
The Steve Seagals, those types of all the Rob Van Damme films, innit? So I was surprised that you've not seen one.
I know. I feel like I should have seen the Terminator at some point in time, but growing up as a Californian, Arnold Schwarzenegger was governor when I was a child, and it just put me off from watching his movies.
Yeah, but hold on, but even before he became governor.
I was in elementary school when he was governor, or middle school when he was governor.
That was 06, but what about that time period before that though?
I was a child, Kevin. I wasn't a little girl playing with Barbies like, let me go watch Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, that's true.
Not to be stereotypical, but I was not interested. And again, I tell Kevin this all the time. My dad was very much like, if you're not this age, you're not watching this movie.
Yeah, I didn't have to.
And so I couldn't. If it was PG-13 and I wasn't 13, I wasn't watching it. Even when I was like 16, some PG-13 movies he wouldn't let me watch. If it was like nudity and stuff, he's like,
no, we just skip through the nudity.
Which his mom still does that.
Skip through the nudity. Let's get through the action.
She was watching Queen Charlotte and she just like fast forwarded through the sex scene. So, like, makes sense. But True Lies, great film. Glad I watched it. And now I want to watch another Arnold Schwarzenegger movie just to see.
We possibly could. I mean, they did a similar spin-off. And also there's the new TV show that they did as well.
Fubar
as well, which is kind of influence on that as well, because in True Lies, Jamie Lee Curtis plays Arnold Schwarzenegger's character's wife, who finds out later on that he's actually a CIA agent and spy. Obviously, us as an audience, we knew from earlier on because we the film premiered centers on Arnold Schwarzenegger trying to again stop these bad guys from blowing up essentially America, or at least Los Angeles, one of those places as well. And what's the other film?
Fubar.
In Fubar, he finds out that his daughter is a CIA agent as well. But they made an actually spin-off of True Lies in the TV show, and I think that's Amazon, isn't it?
I don't know where it was here. It was just like network television in the United States.
FX or something. I think it's FX, isn't it?
But that got cancelled very quickly.
Yeah. But again, the spin-off is the same, but it's slightly a little bit different in the sense that what's it called? They both are agents, but they found out at a different time that they both are agents. I think that's what I saw from the trailer as well. So it's interesting to see what's it called? The
impact that True Lies has had on Hollywood.
Yeah.
For sure. So we might watch the show. I don't know.
Highly unlikely. Again, for me, you can watch it, but you know me, like I can't lie. Like I go sometimes I like to go like a week or couple of days where I don't want to watch a film, and then I rather I don't know.
Where I can watch a movie every day.
Yeah, I could not. I could not watch a movie every day.
I think I want to watch it because I want to see if Arnold Schwarzenegger's acting has improved. I don't want to say he's a bad actor. People loved him, but I want to be conscious of like English not being his first language also. So sometimes when he gave lines in True Lies, it was like, is he bad at acting, or is it that he doesn't know where the emphasis in certain
I feel like where Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock, Arnold Schwarzenegger, even people like Kevin Hart, they're all personality actors.
Yeah.
So it's their personality actors and they are playing in that film. They are not again like Phoenix. They are not embodying someone else completely in a completely time different, completely different mannerism. Or like Christian, or like Bell in some of his films. And these films are made in a sense of, oh, Arnold's in a new film, let me go see Arnold, as opposed to this film is about so and so, and Arnold plays this character. Do you get me? And then you're and then you are engrossed into that. You're engrossed, but you are when you watch Arnold, especially specifically during that time period, you are going in for action.
Right.
You're going in for action. You knew, like, you're not gonna see Arnold in a drama, like, I don't know, in drama about him being, World War II. Even that film, like a World War II veteran, which would have been actually, because I think that would have pushed his bound a little bit. It would have been.
But he didn't have the range. That's the problem.
He might have been in a film. He might have been in a film that is like that. I don't know where's this memory coming from.
We can look it up later.
We can. I might have got this wrong. If you lot know, do let me know.
Let him know in the comments. Fact check him in the comments.
Yeah.
Should we move on to the next movie?
Yeah, go.
So the next action movie we watched was The Mother, which is not as comedic.
It has no comedy in it.
Yeah, it's
from what I remember. No comedy.
Action drama situation.
It's complete action drama.
It's funny because it was bad.
Oh, it was. I think the minute it started, I was like, this is arguably the worst film we've seen as of yet. I think it's absolutely.
You
terrible.
think it was worse than Golden Child and Bad Company?
Golden Child was a good watch.
Okay.
And Bad Company, it was a bad film, but it had moments. I think The Mother, from the minute that it was, again, J-Lo as an assassin, I found it hard to believe. And granted, she done a film like Enough, which is also an action drama. Drama action, actually, more importantly.
Right.
But, so it's not so far-fetched, but there were also moments and scenes where they sort of dragged the, what's it called? So like the first scene when she's in the shower, and then she's, after she got stabbed, and then she's looking into the camera as well, and then she's like, it was just a bit like, let's make a moment out of this. And then there was too many of those moments. Again, there was in terms of the way it was shot,
right?
The way the action was staged, it has no finesse in it. It was very much default way in terms of the way all of the scenes were sort of set up. Not anything unique or sort of creative as well. And
it felt like everything was just to get to the next scene.
Yeah, there was not necessarily any sort of serious finesse with it as well. I think it was hard for me to actually see J-Lo as an assassin. I was like, it was very hard.
Yeah. Well, she was in one other action rom-com. So her most recent movie.
You mean the TV show?
No, she was in. Okay,
yeah, that was an action rom-com, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, you've seen it, so yeah.
So she was in Shotgun Wedding last year, I believe.
And that's an action rom.
Yeah, so it's a rom-com, but there's pirates, and her fiance have to.
But she's a fighting.
Kill off. Yeah, not intentionally. So that's the kind of comedic part of it. Is that she's not a murderer, but she
is it like the Adam Sandler and Fink film?
The murder mystery.
Yeah.
Yeah, similar. I would say.
But so basically, Amazon did their own version of it.
I mean, they're not alike, but when it comes to genre, they are similar.
It seems like there's a lot of similarities.
You haven't watched either of them.
No, but what I'm trying to say, because I mean, it makes sense as a production company and what they would do, because they're trying to gather up a specific audience that would do this.
So it's more like Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum came out with a rom-com action movie. Those are more similar. Murder Mystery is a separate thing.
Okay.
Those two, I would say, are more similar. I can't remember the name of that one. So there's a little action there. And then, as you were saying, she had a TV show maybe 5-10 years ago, where she played a police officer. Yeah. So there was some action, but it wasn't. I don't know. It was like Law and Order more than.
What's your thoughts about The Mother anyway?
I didn't enjoy it. I wanted to go into it open-minded. I like Jennifer Lopez.
As a what? She's a multifaceted.
As an entertainer.
She's a multifaceted entertainer.
I know. She's very like what's the phrase that people use?
She's also a personality actor as well.
She's a problematic fave, is what I would say. Because when she started out musically, she was using Ashanti's vocals to do things. Like, it wasn't. I don't think she's a great singer, even though I went to go see her in Vegas. I think she's entertaining.
But I can't. I mean, I think that was just. It was more like.
No, she can't sing.
I know, but what I'm trying to basically say is that it's basically, like Ashanti was obviously willing to help her. Do you get me?
I mean,
it wasn't like she was stealing Ashanti's work.
Yeah,
Ashanti was willing. Ashanti gave her some records, didn't it? Do you get me?
So I'm just saying she became famous using somebody else's vocals.
Was she using her vocals, or was it?
Yeah, it was like mixed in. Again, in production, they do what they do, but a lot when you listen to old tracks, it's not her voice, and you can tell that very. She's
a personality entertainer. Do you get me?
And I love a rom-com.
We've seen a lot of personality-driven films, haven't we?
Yeah,
it's interesting. We need to watch serious films again.
I love a rom-com. rom-com, and so I'm always here. Anytime Jennifer Lopez puts something out, I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
But this one was definitely disappointing. I think it wasn't just her. I don't think that she's a bad actor. I think she's
been like good. She's been long, especially the romance.
And she can hold her
like
own.
The Maid, isn't it? Is it called The Maid?
Made in Manhattan.
Made in Manhattan.
And then The Wedding Planner and all those good things.
Yeah.
But I don't think she's bad. I hate to talk negatively about children actors because they're children. Like, I don't.
Oh, you're talking about yeah.
But the young woman who played her daughter, I thought, was not.
Yeah, I remember you saying that you did not like.
It was because she could cry on cue. They were like, "That's what we need."
We mean she couldn't.
She was crying. No, she could cry on cue,
yeah.
And so that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
But I don't think she was a good actor.
To be honest, I hear what you're saying. To be honest, I think at that point I kind of forget. I just
weren't even paying attention anymore.
Yeah, but I think it's also the issue is kind of like the narrative as well with the film as well. It cheaply sort of tries to get you have some sort of sympathy for the character.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there is some levels of it there, but it's not done in a way in which we are engrossed. Well, for me as a viewer, to engrossed in it. Do you get me?
Yeah.
Because it's a bit cheesy at some moments. Specifically, at the end of it when she's holding the bracelet and it says that she's a mother, and it's so the whole film.
I think the whole film has cheesy moments in it. The man from Power, I can't remember his name.
Omar Hardwick.
He's starring in it, and I also don't think he's that great of an actor.
He's really good in Power.
That's fine.
He's good in Power.
Anything else I've seen him in, I haven't necessarily been impressed.
I think he did his job, but again, it's not a great film.
They kept setting him up to be
beaten up.
Exactly.
And killed him.
And he just...
Disclaimer.
As, like... He's a professional. He's supposed to be a police officer. But he does very stupid things. Exactly. Even bigger than that.
He does even in the beginning he does something.
He sets himself up to be murdered. And I'm just like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
It's not good. But the two bad guys, I think, are very talented. Outside of this film...
Yeah, because you see them in other stuff. And
one of them is in Handmaid's Tale. Yeah. And the other was in Station 11, just in the first
Ralph,
episode.
Like he looks almost like Ralph Fiennes.
He's a very famous Mexican actor.
No, not him. The other bad guy. Yeah.
I don't know who
Ralph. I thought it was Ralph Fiennes is the guy who's playing the chef in the film with Anna Taylor-Joy.
Okay. Yeah. They don't look anything alike.
Oh.
I'm gonna put up two pictures. These men look nothing alike.
Well, in that film, I thought for a moment that was Ralph Fiennes.
Maybe. So I'm coming in to say that Kevin was absolutely correct, and these men are brothers. Who knew? I guess if you knew their names, then you probably knew. But the man in The Mother and the man in The Menu are brothers. That's why he thought they looked alike. I was wrong. So, yeah, it wasn't good. And I think that's it. Oh, I did want to comment on, though. So it was written and directed by women.
Yeah, for sure. You could definitely see the
what is that supposed to mean?
No, but like, to be honest, it's not a gender-driven film. It's not. I wouldn't say that. It was more like it's not gender-driven film, but it's definitely written from perspective of a woman who would do anything to bring back their child, not to defend their child from her own husband, or I think ex, who she had a kid with, who was an arms dealer.
Mm-hmm. No, we can't spoil it. Are we gonna spoil it? Spoiler alert: he was trafficking children.
No, he was an arms dealer initially.
At first, okay, yeah, he was.
Which was okay.
For Jennifer Lopez's character, she
was
all right,
okay.
You want to sell guns? You want to sell weapons? I'll help you out.
But then
you want to sell people?
That's when I'm out. But the thing is, I think there are people who are legally arms dealing if they're working with the government.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But true. Obviously, I think he was an illegal one. Mm-hmm. But for her, that was okay.
The line, that was her boundary.
That was okay, but when it was human being,
she like threw up when she found the
and even though when I saw that, I was like, what the heck? But again, she's not supposed to be this perfect person. Do you get me? And that's the reason why she also joins the army as well. All these particular things as well, but it's so
it being directed and written by a woman.
Yeah.
I think to your point, I think it's really important. I can often tell when a story that's about a woman is written by a man, and so I think it's important
What way?
I think
you can see some scenes that
are just like unrealistic. I don't know. I don't have a great example right now, but I've definitely watched things and been like looked into it after, and it'd be like, oh, this was written by a man, and I'm like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But one of the things I was concerned about in criticizing this movie is that I still feel like we're at a place where women writers and directors don't have as many opportunities as men, obviously. And so it's like, you know that conversation people have about like, don't criticize black films because we need to be putting out more films? It's like, we still need to criticize them.
To be honest, if it's a shit film, it's a shit film. It doesn't matter because there's loads of women directors that have done great work. Put up great work that we love as well.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. It's the 3 Billboard Mountains, Missouri. It's not made by women, is it?
3 billboards outside of
Ebbing, Missouri. Fantastic film. I don't think it was actually. I'm making a huge. No, it's not. Martin McDonagh. No, it's not.
No.
British-Irish playwright. Oh wow, never heard of him. But yeah, there are loads of films that we kind of watch that we think, oh yeah, but made by women directors that are excellent films. It was just a shit film.
Yeah.
But again, it was a film that was supposed to do I think a good on the Netflix algorithm. Mm-hmm. Looking at the charting list on Netflix, obviously Netflix don't give us the accurate viewing figures.
Right.
It was
and just because everyone decided to turn it on the day it was released doesn't mean it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Like people just want something to watch.
Yeah.
Or people like me and they just like Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, it's a bit like Bird Box. Remember when Bird Box came out?
I didn't think Bird Box was that bad.
Bird Box was shit. It was shit.
I did not think it was that bad.
These are the films where you're like, oh my god, let me watch. Ooh.
Because Sandra Bullock, big name, like people are.
Yeah, that's same thing with the like JLo as well.
Yeah.
Obviously not as big as Sandra.
Not as
in terms of film, yeah.
Yeah.
But.
Well, one last movie to talk about.
RRR.
RRR. What did it stand for?
Rage.
Resolve.
I don't know. Something along those lines.
I can't recall, but I fuck with that movie.
Yeah.
I love that movie so much.
Yeah.
It is.
Again, another action film as well. It is
an action film. It's like historical drama, action. Not a comedy, but it's hilarious.
You can still add comedy to it as well, but a little bit different. It's interesting as well because it's more. Yeah, you could still say it's comedy. Sorry, you're going on.
No. I would say it was a comedy. I was just saying, like, when you look up the genre of this film, nobody else is considering it a comedy. Yeah. But we were laughing from.
Yeah, but we were laughing at how ridiculous it is. It's almost it's like. It's you know what it is? It's like a bad dream in the sense that no, it's not like a bad dream.
No, because that makes it sound bad.
No, but what I'm trying to say is like this character. It doesn't matter what happens to him, he will complete his goal.
And I think that's why it's so funny because it's so outrageous. It's
that as well, and along of the action as well. It's basically like what's it called? Bit like Kung Fu Hustle, but I don't think it's as intentional as Kung Fu Hustle in terms of its ridiculousness over action, even though that is part of it as well. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I'm saying that there's been a lot of Bollywood action film that kind of have had that same template as well. And I'm not sure how much of it is trying to be ridiculous or how much is like, no, we made a character that is literally more stronger than Superman.
I don't think it's supposed to be literal. And I think that's a part of, this is only my second Bollywood movie. If you know more about Bollywood, let me know in the comments. But I think from what I've seen, they're all a bit ridiculous. And so this is just playing into that.
Which one? The
other one that we watched. And the clips that I've seen of other Bollywood movies, they're all like they aren't all action, so it's not ridiculous in the same way, but they are kind of like, why is this so dramatic? And that's exactly what RRR was. It was just out.
And that's what. Yeah, and I think that's the sort of the
intent.
Well, for me, I think although I do see it as in like an intent, as you're saying, I just don't. I think it's weird when they mixed in the historical aspect of it as well.
Yeah.
Because it's really it is odd in a way because when it becomes even more serious and rather than the rather than the fantasy bit. I would definitely say that I enjoyed watching it, and I was happy that we watched it as well. And obviously it's dance numbers as well. I mean, the quality is amazing. It is, you can see that this is a high budget film as well. Everyone was like top notch, but I think the voice dubbing was just
I don't know if that's because it was like not actually made for Netflix. Maybe we had the wrong settings.
Yeah.
But I also think vocal dubbing and for the singing parts of Bollywood movies are always
if you've seen a few.
Always
I've seen
not
a few.
good.
Yeah, I've seen it a few as well. But yeah, I think my issue is between the historical context that the film is sort of set in, and also its absurd, over the top nature in the action sequence as well. But I will still say that I did enjoy it. I was happy that I watched it as well. And again, it kind of goes into the line of the type of action film, and now you can see the sort of common thread that we've been kind of watching. We watch a lot of action comedies.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, I feel like it's because probably we watch way too much serious things, and sometimes you do need to laugh. And I had a good time laughing at how, especially when he picks up the motorcycle and is able to throw it back. I was like, that is the most red.
Wait, wasn't it on fire?
Yeah, or some shit.
Yeah.
And it was able to pick it up and then throw it. I was like, this. And there was a disclaimer. There was one moment as well when Serena.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. When Serena thought, so the other character sort of got the stump and he hits what it looks like the other guy who was his best friend in the throat. Serena thought, oh no, he actually got him and died. I was like, no. I knew at a certain point, I knew this is the type of film in which we know how it's going to play out.
Right.
Like, we know there's no adversity. Literally, it could be a nuclear bomb.
And they would both survive.
Everyone else would die, but they both would survive.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved every part of it. And that's why I'm like, this must be a comedy because it's so outrageous. But it was still, the production was amazing.
Yeah.
The CGI, all the animals in it were CGI. And you could tell, but I still think it was really well done.
Yeah.
So, I'm here for it. The dancing was amazing. The music, usually Bollywood movies, I'm like, can we fast forward through these songs?
Yeah.
But the music was
again, really, I think the reason why, because there were not that many.
Yeah, that's true.
So some and also the scenes were not repetitive.
Right.
Because sometimes in some Bollywood films, I can't remember some of the rom-com Bollywood films that I've seen, the scenes, it's almost like the same scene is happening again, and it doesn't need that scene need not to be had there.
Right.
The good thing about RRR is that the story is sort of progressing as well, and it's 3 hours long as well. But you reach an hour 30 mark, and you still haven't seen the backstory of the police officer. Yeah. So halfway through the movie, we've sort of seen the protagonist, which is the brother who is trying to save the girl whom the British have taken, rather forcefully, and we know his backstory, we know his motivation, but we get to find out the antagonist, who's the police officer, other half of the film, what his backstory and what his motivation is as well, because leading up to that point, we didn't know what the backstory is as well, so we are kind of in the dark as well. So that again kind of extends the running time and get us to understand exactly. But essentially, what the historical aspect, background of what the film is, the sprinkles in the beginning, and the motivation for sure.
Yeah.
And that's what allows the runtime to not to be sort of so long, and that's what also allows the explanation of the backstory not to have the many musical set and the musical numbers, because it's focusing. It's focusing more on the story and not less of the musical and dance elements, so allowing the story to progress. And then occasionally, for example, when he is getting whipped ridiculously to start singing, but again, it's more about him singing and galvanizing.
Meaning of the song.
The meaning of the song and galvanizing as well. Again, the film is full with a lot of like cliche, a lot of like meh moment, a lot of like this is ridiculous moments as well. There as well. And also, it's definitely made in order to be like a crowd pleaser. Like it's not like although it has a serious element, it is also definitely made to be like a crowd pleaser. And also, I feel like there's a very nationalistic element to it as well, because we saw it towards the end. The depiction of multiple different sort of like Indian sort of crowd, Indian tribes, and the strength they sort of provide to the nation as well. So it's definitely got a very nationalist element to it, and also fighting the colonial oppression from the British as well. So different, big message in that film in comparison to America projecting their soft power through films like Bad Company and True Lies. Is it True Lies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that is the fantasy aspect of it is not just in the action and how outrageous their strength is, but it's also in like the Indian people being able to take down the power that was the British.
Yeah.
Which I loved.
Yeah.
I think the running time for it, when we first turned it on, we saw it was 3 hours. We're like, we'll watch half of it today, half of it another time. And it's so entertaining, in my opinion, that it was just like, let's just keep watching it. There was a point, it was midnight and I was tired, but we still...
Which always happens. You always end up falling, like, you're always about to fall asleep.
Always.
And I'm like, of course.
But anyway... I stayed awake and finished it, and I'm glad that I did. And again, I don't think it never got to a point where it was like, oh my god, this movie is so long. Like, I wanted to continue watching. I was just tired.
To be honest, for me, it got to that point. But again, it's because it's only 3 hours. It's similar to the Martin Scorsese film as well, that he, not the one that's coming out recently, The Irishman as well, which is a very long film, but a fantastic film nonetheless as well. But again, I thought, but I give credit to RRR. I felt entertained watching it as well, but it was, for me, I found it incredibly ridiculous as well, but still amazed, or I enjoyed its quality as well. I enjoyed the quality and how much thing is, but yeah.
So those are the movies. Those are the 5 action movies we've watched recently.
Yeah.
If you had to rank them, how would you?
So The Mother last.
Okay.
Bad Company following that. Then Golden Child. RRR, then True Lies.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I think there's like, well, it's really interesting. I think the good thing that I take from RRR is how entertaining it is. But I think for me, True Lies has a good balance between, it can be entertaining and sometimes the action is also good sometimes, but just the way as a film it's shot, it's really good.
Right.
Like it's not like, I think with RRR, I think a lot of it's although the production design and the set design is very elaborate, it doesn't have the same directorial finesse, but again, because it's James Cameron, do you get me? It doesn't have the same directorial finesse. Like, there's certain bits of True Lies you can take out and you can put out in any other film and it can be a standalone film.
Right.
Do you get me? Right. But what, like with RRR, I feel like it's got high level of glossiness, but also there's a sort of lack of sort of quality. Though they are the same sort of genre as well.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
Yeah.
But so I'll pick that as well. But that's my ranking. Yeah. I think you will probably put RR the first one. That's already.
I absolutely would. I think I would say Bad Company is last.
Yeah. So you put Mother. So you put Mother above Bad Company.
I would.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I think I would also put Mother above Golden Child.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Because it just no, okay, maybe not.
Really?
Maybe they're tied.
Listen, Golden Child was moments where we laughed.
No, absolutely there were.
And again, the moments when the CGI was really bad as well. Like again,
but it's from the 80s, so my expectations weren't that high.
I mean, there are some better 80s action films as well. They'll probably watch one time as well. Yeah. But again, kind of like with RRR as well. Those action films are like, they are like badish, or like, you know, there's like, oh, that is ridiculous elements to it. Yeah. Right. But sorry, go on.
So Bad Company is last.
Yeah.
Golden Child, Mother tied.
Oh, you tied them?
Yeah.
And you don't want to put Mother. You don't put Golden Child first and then Mother. It's up to you. Don't let me influence you.
I know. I'm trying not to let you influence me. I don't think I could choose. I think I would have to tie them. And then True Lies, and then yeah. So that's I am glad I watched True Lies though, and I'm glad we finally watched RRR.
Yeah, we've been meaning to watch it.
Yeah,
we've been meaning to watch it.
So that was our recaps. I think I kind of want to end out with any trailers that you're excited for. Let's end this with some trailers. Have you seen one recently that you're
I mean, it's one there's so many films that I need to watch. I still need to watch The Bicycle Thieves.
Okay, a more recent trailer.
I don't know.
He's like looking at his stacks of DVDs over there.
I just got so many films.
You haven't seen a trailer recently that you were like...
Oh yeah, I mean, of course, the new Martin Scorsese film. Yeah. I hope it's a good film. I love an historical film, but I love an historical film, and I think that kind of also what interested me about our the historical element as well.
No, for sure. But that one is called, sorry to interrupt you, Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah. And it looks like America's sordid past
with the indigenous.
With indigenous and the land grabbing, and also greed, and it kind of follows, the formation of America as well, or the formation of most nations as well. Right. That one I'm 100% excited. Am I gonna see when it come out? Maybe not. Maybe I will. Maybe I will see in 5 years' time.
Exactly.
I got a timeline when I want to watch this film. I don't really press that because I got some others I want to watch. But I think that is it. What about you?
That was also mine, but I saw briefly a trailer with Emma Stone, and I'm trying to find it, and now I can't find the movie.
She hasn't been in much.
I know.
Well, maybe she has, but not necessarily much that we watch.
Coming out with a new movie.
Emma Stone. Let's see, IMDb. Guys, get an IMDb account as well.
It's called Poor Things. I don't think you've seen it yet, so I'll show it to you. But the teaser for that really piqued my interest.
What is it about? What
I have no idea. I don't know, but I was intrigued, and so I'm gonna go find out. And I think last but not least, I just need to go see The Little Mermaid.
Oh God,
I'll be happy.
Oh God, I mean, yeah. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to go with as well. But I did tell her. What's it called? I'm gonna be on the phone as well.
Exactly.
Another one maybe is the Barbie as well.
Barbie, no, for sure.
And that is because it's Greta Gerwig, and I think she's an amazing. Oh, that's a female director.
Yeah.
She's done fantastic.
Did she do Little Women? The new version?
Little Woman, I think so. Greta Gerwig is cold. She's done a really good film, and there's another film she's done like a long time. I still haven't seen it. I got that on Blu-ray as well.
What is that?
It's about an adolescent girl.
Lady Bird.
She did Lady Bird as well, and I still haven't seen that. It's been 5 years.
Yeah, Greta Gerwig did Little Women 2019, and that was fantastic. I cried.
Yeah,
it was really good.
So but the thing is, I'm only gonna watch it after I see what the review is and what people talk about it, because I'm not sure in terms of how good in terms of it is in terms of what it's talking about. Mm-hmm. Like, is it the best word I can describe? Is it kind of like subverting the Barbie expectation of what we have as Barbie, and it's still quite serious and it's still quite good? I would love to see that. Or is it just that just a little plot twist to what we think of Barbie?
I think it's just straight Barbie. I think it's just
I'm not sure, because from what
simple.
I'm not sure. I feel like there might be a bigger topic or bigger element to it. I don't know. Yeah. We will see.
I mean, the themes, of course, but is it going to become a more serious thing? I doubt it. But again, we'll see. I think you were talking about ratings, and I know we talk about this often, but why do you hate Rotten Tomatoes, and why are you a Metacritic person?
The thing is, I don't think I necessarily hate Rotten Tomatoes as well. I think the reason why I like Metacritic as well, because they include, I think, all the best publications in the reviews as well, and then group it, so they all add it all to one, and then you get one overall score.
Only like the most elite reviewers.
So I believe so as well, but I feel like Rotten Tomatoes almost include much bigger public pools, even to people that I don't necessarily read the review from as well. But I think another film as well is Oppenheimer, and obviously that is the new Christopher Nolan film as well, about this nuclear physicist. Was it nuclear physicist? Who makes the nuclear bomb as well. But again, I'm kind of looking at what the people are saying about it, because the reason why sometimes I do that as well. Sometimes I just don't like I can save myself watching something or watching. By actually avoiding as well. We got Asteroid City by Wes Anderson. I still haven't seen what's it called? Grand Budapest Hotel. Is there on Blu-ray?
So good. Yeah. Was it last summer or last fall? I watched any Wes Anderson film that I could. Yeah. Like, I went through a phase. But this is it's more sci-fi, isn't it?
Oh, well,
he doesn't do a lot of sci-fi.
You know what it is? I want that man to change up a little bit. I can't lie. I don't like. It's the same beef that I have with my nigga Pusha T, fam. Do you get me? I want people to challenge themselves.
Do you want the challenge to come in the writing or in the style?
In the style and in the writing.
The style is never going to change.
I want that, and that's why I credit people like Steve Spielberg.
Yeah.
Do you get me? Because you're.
Oh, are you on a first name basis like that, Steve?
That's his name, Steve Spielberg. That's what people call him.
Steven Spielberg.
Do you get me? Maybe we can be a first day.
Exactly.
But it's the fact that you are challenging the way you are shooting and writing things as well, as opposed to what's it called? It's okay in the first few, but then sometimes it becomes like you're just making the same film but in a different way.
Right.
And I feel like there's so much inspiration that you can draw from as well. So many genres with different elements to it that you can add on to create something unique.
Yeah, I feel you.
Any other films you have?
No, I think that's all I'm excited for so far that I can remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for talking to me about movies, as we always do.
Yeah.
And we'll see you in the next one.